Capricorn. It's your girl Jay, the High Priestess, back at it again with the general tarot reading for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Aries season 2023. Welcome to 2023. Happy New Year. Happy Spring Equinox. Oh, I forgot to say that to Sagittarius. My bad. Capricorn, what came through real hard. Ooh. We will talk about that in a second. What came through real hard for you guys was all work and no play makes for a very dull life. And all play and no work sounds expensive and like very harsh lessons learned later. And so you're really, having to Goldilocks it this season and find that perfect balance between comfort and play, cozy and like luxurious. So be sure to check out your Sun, Moon, and Rising. Patreon gets everything first. Patreon.com/justjeverything. For free content, check out my Instasham at justj_everything, TikTok at justjeverything, and for other dope shit that I do, my website, justjeverything.com. justjeverything.com, excuse me. Me. Hydrate. Light it if you got it. Also, Capricorn, check out the Aries season astrology video. And that's going to have all the important astrological dates that you need to pay attention to. Now, Aries and Capricorn square each other. They form a 90-degree angle to each other. So that is a square. All of the cardinal signs square each other. And squares are like arm wrestling energy. So there is tension, a challenge felt. A challenge felt. I didn't even clear the energy, nothing. Let's go ahead and clear it out. Creating a safe space for our benevolent ancestors, Mother God, Father God, Mother Earth. Thanking you for the most useful, helpful, and divinely aligned messages for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Aries season 2023. First card out is the Tower. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, your response to change, sudden change, is really important. And I also feel like Mars going into Cancer, where it falls, is going to shift your relationship to your physical and sexual energy. There may be somebody with Aries or Scorpio placements playing a big role or coming in or inspiring you. I feel like how you don't fear in the face of change. I do feel like when we ignore our higher selves, we make houses out of hay. And that's really what the Tower is. If you keep ignoring your intuition, because y'all be knowing, if you keep ignoring your intuition, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, you are just perpetuating or creating really precarious situations for yourself. You're creating situations that are built atop like structurally unsound foundations. And in some sort of way, it's like you think you know, but you have no idea. Like there's like the crown is getting knocked off. Pluto also is going to be playing you because Pluto is leaving, and there's going to be all this relief and change, and then Pluto's coming back. And shakes shit up again. Leaves, there's relief. Comes back. Shakes shit up again. and then leaves and really starts to transit Aquarius. And so your relationship to change has got to evolve. All right, let's get into it, please. Thanking you for the most useful, helpful, and divinely aligned messages for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Aries season 2023. I feel like something suddenly comes in and shakes things up. There may be somebody with Aquarius placements also coming in, someone quirky or weird or unexpected. I just feel like there's sudden shifts in power dynamics, someone getting knocked off their high horse. Like, you know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. The one who wears the crown may not be wearing the crown anymore. So there could be shifts in hierarchy, shifts in power, a new manager, a new position, you receiving more power. First two cards out being the major arcana, there's major redirection, like what I say, a challenge coming in. And how you respond in the face of chaos and change really matters. And I feel like everybody that's your friend or that's acting like your friend is not your friend. And you need to make sure that you can, some of you are learning this harsh lesson of like code switching. For some of you, like, you can't behave the way that you do with the team, the way that you do with like the upper management team. You know, you can't talk to the CEO the same way that you talk to the intern. You know what I mean? And so I feel like with the Magician coming out, what have you learned about yourself recently? I feel like there's a lot coming to light. I do feel like there are people running their mouths, people talking. And I just feel like you have everything that you need in order to have a really fulfilling experience. And you need to like figure out how to nurture that, how to foster that, how to pour into that. You're needing to figure out how to be your number one priority. You and your relationship to your magic, your relationship to spirit, your relationship to the divine. Do you know why you're doing what you're doing? Why do you do what you do when you know what you know? Don't make the divine humble you and knock you down some pegs and humble you when you could just be really acting right and doing what you know you need to do. And I feel like for some of you, there's like an opening of your heart. It's time to harness your willpower. Some of you, there's like a change or something. Jolting comes in and it really just like jolts you into gear. Really like kind of lights you up in some sort of way. Capricorn, I feel like that's what the reading is. Jolt. Something like jars you into power. Something like pushes you to believe in yourself. Saturn, your ruling planet, going into Pisces, I feel like really has you like, it's time to tune in with your star player. It's time to like understand that you have this success mechanism, this internal success mechanism that needs to be listened to, honored, guided. You need to be guided by it. It needs to be acknowledged, and it's trying to lead you somewhere specific. And so you're needing to, there's a change. I'm excited to clarify this tower in the plunge, but I do feel like you're needing to really shift your relationship to the mind. There also may be somebody with Gemini or Virgo placements that something is really like shifting with. That may be, there's like some like jarring experience. A sudden change, a sudden entrance, a sudden meeting, a sudden experience. Just because it's the Tower doesn't mean that it has to be, that it's bad or negative. Is it just or is it unjust? That's not for us to decipher in this scenario. But it is what it is. I can tell you that. And I do feel like regardless of whether you deserve it or not, there are big changes coming in, and you need to, and I feel like these big changes are forcing you to get in tune with like who you are. It's like when the shit hits the fan, that's surely when you figure out what you believe in and what you have faith in. And so I do feel like some of you, there's just some like, for lack of a better phrase, like proverbial come to Jesus that's happening. And you're going to figure out who you are and what you're made of and what you believe in and what you stand for. And you're needing to stand up. You're needing to say the right thing. I feel like there's also somebody else that comes in and stands up for you or stands up with you. I feel like it's a great time to really like figure out what you've learned about yourself lately, how to keep your heart open, how to, I also feel like some of you are needing to dive deeper into connecting with your sexual energy and making sure that you're like having the sexual interactions that you want to have. Not just like settling for, you know, I don't know. Nice. Damn, all three major arcana coming out. Death at the center of the reading. There's an ending. Something profound ends. It may have to do with somebody with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements. Scorpio showing up again as well. But I do feel like there's, maybe there's some shocking news or information coming in for some of you. Like you're seeing Death and the Tower coming out and you're freaking out. And I just feel like this doesn't have to mean that like there's an accident or anything like that, or that you're gonna die or somebody that you know. No, this is just metamorphosis. But let's say that you do experience loss or grief. I need you to know that that is supposed to be one of the #1 motivating forces of why you should be here now and in the moment now, every moment, and sucking up the sweetness of life because of the elusiveness of death, because it all could be over at any minute, because none of this shit is promised. And if anybody gets that, it's a Capricorn. If anybody can just be like, you know, realistic about that, yeah, everything that is natural, everything that's born dies. Hey, that's something that I feel like Capricorns quite easily can process and understand. But I need you to understand it in a different way for your life, not to like fear-monger you or scare you into action. It's time to get back to life because you still have time to. Every moment, every breath is an opportunity to turn this shit around and really tap into your magic. And there's some like really delicious hindsight that starts to come in for you guys, where you're starting to really see that, you know, like maybe some things do really happen for a reason. I do feel like something profound is ending. Some ending is profound. Some of you may experience loss, may experience grief. And it may be something sudden. And I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to let you know, to remind you that none of this shit is promised, and everything needs to be an opportunity for you to free yourself, and free yourself in the realm of the mind. There is something constricting going on, and it's constricted your spirit. It's constricted you from acting. It's constricted you from having like the freedom or the fun that you've been wanting. For some of you, it's been anxiety, depression, intrusive thoughts, or insecurity, or shaky mental health, seasonal depression. The winter sads are a fucking real thing. And I feel like there is finally in Aries season, there is an ending of a cycle in the realm of your physical, spiritual, sexual energy. Your spirit comes back to life, and so your mind starts to really like get out of autopilot and kick back on. And so I feel like balance is really acquired. That kind of Goldilocks shit that I was talking about, nice. And at the bottom of the deck is the devil reversed. You showing up free. Your ruling planet, Saturn, is like marking the end of an era. This is the end of an era with Saturn being in Pisces. When Saturn goes into Aries in 2027, this is like a new generation. It's a new chapter. It's a new like part of your existence. There is like this, I don't know, and it's going to manifest differently for everybody. Get a fucking personal reading, baby, to see what happens. But check your rising sign. If you are a Capricorn rising, then Saturn just shifted into your third house of Pisces. And so Saturn in the third house, getting structured in regards to like family, neighbors, siblings, like your community, traveling. There's freedom coming in. Freedom from something that's been constricting or binding you. You learning new things. You're going to be inspired to study new things, inspired to socialize, to network. But I also, I feel like some of you, this is funny. I was just talking to my friend who is a Capricorn, okay. And I was just like, some of you are entering like your like dark feminine era, or like your villain era. Some of you, I feel like, are getting more comfortable expressing your anger or your discontent, or expressing the fact that your standards are raised or you're dissatisfied. I just feel like you're finally free from something or someone. Maybe someone with Aries, specifically Leo placements. This is Leo, really. But could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements. And I feel like you're really just starting to have fun. Moving towards a freedom in the mind that only can, this freedom, this wisdom that's coming in is only a result of pain. And if there's anything Capricorns know, it's struggle. And Saturn is the planet that ensures if you do the hard work, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, there will be a reward. You will acquire freedom. You will experience, specifically Capricorn Sun and Capricorn Rising, but specifically those two placements, the older that you get, the more carefree you get, the more jovial and childlike you get, the less serious you need to be. And I just feel like there is this freedom coming where you get to finally like be unbridled. You finally get to be your whole self. You get to, you get freedom from this jealous person who is not confident. I feel like there's just something that I feel like has been causing a lot of frustration. It may include something that has ended, something that needs to end. It's time to get rid of the excess. It's time to purge, clear out stuff that you don't need anymore. It's time to like spring cleaning. But there's stuff that's been, I feel like you get to identify the root of some of your frustration and uproot it out of your life. Dead that shit. I also feel like there are, okay, so let's take a closer look. So there may be someone with Aries, Scorpio, Gemini, or Virgo placements that you're having like profound realizations about. I feel like someone with Aries or Scorpio placements may possibly be unstable or unstable, or you're just seeing people's dark side. Your ruling planet Saturn is in Pisces, and Pisces is like the ultimate psychic, the ultimate like can see, the ultimate seer, the ultimate seeker. And so I feel like you are able to see through, like you're able to see the way a Scorpio does in some sort of way. Like I feel like your mind's eye is opening up, your intuition is really expanding. You're really being asked to face your fears, face your shadow, face your darkness. And so there could be, and if you've been running from that, you will not be able to run any longer. And Mercury moving out of Mercury moving out of Aries into Taurus this season, I feel like it's going to really help you have more grounded thoughts, help you think more clearly. Like the quality of your thoughts, you being able to make right decisions quickly, it's just going to be easier for you, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So I feel like there's this Gemini or this Virgo that has something important to say, or something jarring that you may find out about this Gemini or Virgo. And this may be the end of a relationship. This could be a breakup. This could be finding out that someone's really charming or someone's all talk. And I feel like whatever is done in the dark comes to light. So if your spidey senses are tingling, it's important that you trust yourself. And when whatever this darkness comes to light, whatever it is, whatever's been hidden that comes to light, you cannot be afraid of the way that it motivates you to change your life, the way that it motivates you to get in motion, for you to bet on yourself, for you to start really like leaning into using your skills and your talents and changing your stars, changing your experience. I feel like there is something that needs to end, and it could possibly end in a confrontational way with someone with Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius placements. And it does not need to be confrontational. It doesn't need to go down in war. It doesn't need to go down in a fight. If you acknowledge your if you listen to your hunches, if like, okay, because there's just like your intuition is telling you something that you don't want to hear, and that's like it's time to get real. If anybody can get real about a situation, it's you. And I feel like the stuff that you don't want to hear, that the divine is trying to tell you, it's trying to help you juke disasters, trying to help you sidestep some disaster that doesn't need to happen. And I don't mean disaster as in like, I mean like, you know, I'm being dramatic. It's just trying to help you sidestep shit that you don't need to experience. It's just like, if you know that you need to leave a relationship, but you've been ignoring this for 6 months, and then this person cheats on you, and now you have to get over the, you know, abandonment and cheating and infidelity and the broken trust that wasn't needed to, you didn't need to experience had you left, had you honored the fact that there are cracks in the motherfucking foundation, and we can't ignore or sweep or we can't pull a rug over this shit anymore. We've got to talk about this, and whatever needs to end, whatever needs to evolve, but it's not going to happen if we're scared. Scared money don't make money, closed mouths don't get fed. And so there is something here about tapping into the resources available to you, being done fighting for just the sake of fighting. It's time to being done also like having somebody just for the sake of having somebody. There is just this radical shift of the mind, because you're having this shift of spirit, because your ruling planet is in the sign of I believe. Your belief system is your foundation. And that's what I feel like is happening. there is some proverbial come to Jesus happening, and you're going to figure out what the God of your understanding is and how to interact with that and what that means and what kind of freedom that provides for you and what chains fall off of you once you finally tap into harnessing your faith and figuring out what faith in action looks like. Aries season wants you free, and so it's going to challenge you to acknowledge your chains. And I dare you to fucking free yourself. I dare you to break the chains. Go play Chains by Fleetwood Mac. I know one of y'all needs to hear it. I love you. I'll see you over on Patreon. Patreon.com/justjeverything. Let's get into it.
For the full version of the video, go to Patreon.